Okay, so today we're diving deep into something that's absolutely crucial in the world of cybersecurity.
We're talking about cyber threat intelligence, CTI.
Yeah, and I feel like so many people hear that and think, oh, that's just for, the techies.
Right.
But it's not. It's really for everybody. I mean, it can really help organizations of, any size, whether you're a small business or a large enterprise.
Absolutely.
So in this deep dive, we're going to unpack what exactly CTI is, why it's so important, and how it can help you stay ahead of, those nasty cyber threats.
You got it. We're going to break it all down, without getting too bogged down in all the technical jargon.
Right.
Make it practical for you.
Yeah. So we'll be looking at some definitions, the intelligence life cycle, different types of CTI, and why being proactive is so much better than just reacting, right?
Absolutely.
So our mission here is to make sure you walk away understanding how valuable CTI can be and how it can really transform your approach to security.
Exactly. It's about moving beyond just reacting to threats. It's about getting ahead of the game.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start with the fundamentals.
Oh.
What exactly is cyber threat intelligence?
In the simplest terms, it's about taking raw information about cyber threats and turning it into something you can actually use.
Right.
Actionable insights. So we're talking about who's attacking, why they're doing it, and how they're doing it.
So it's more than just collecting data.
Yeah, much more. It's about making that data useful. CTI gives you that crucial context. It explains the mechanisms of the attack, identifies key indicators to watch out for, and offers practical guidance on what you can do about it.
Okay, so it's about understanding the bigger picture, not just looking at isolated incidents.
Precisely. And what's really important is that it focuses on your unique security posture, your vulnerabilities, your critical assets.
So how does this raw information actually get turned into something actionable? I mean, there must be some sort of process.
Yeah, there is. It's called the CTI life cycle. You can kind of think of it as a journey from raw data to, that action we're talking about.
Okay.
So it starts with discovering potential threat information, finding those sources. Then you gather all that data. Next, you have to clean it up, format it, add some context to really understand what you're looking at.
I see.
Then comes the analysis part, where you start to identify patterns and trends, really understand the threats you're facing. And this intelligence is then disseminated to different teams within your organization, depending on what they need to know.
Right, because different teams need different types of information, right?
Exactly. You're going to tailor the message for the tech teams, the security operations center, executives, everybody. And there's this feedback loop, right? So you're constantly evaluating, refining, improving your CTI.
Okay, so it's a continuous process.
Absolutely, yeah. It's how you shift from being reactive to proactive.
So instead of just cleaning up the mess after an attack, you're actually trying to prevent the attack from happening in the first place.
You got it.
Okay, so let's dig into the different types of information that make up CTI. What are we actually looking at here?
So one of the core components is what we call indicators of compromise.
IOCs.
Exactly. I've heard of those.
Yeah, these are basically pieces of evidence that suggest a system or network might have been compromised.
Like digital footprints.
Exactly. So we're talking about things like IP addresses, URLs, malware hashes, even email subject lines.
Right. Specific details that could indicate malicious activity.
Exactly. Now, IOCs are great for tactical intelligence, helping you detect known threats quickly. But, and this is a big but, attackers are always changing their tactics.
Right. So relying solely on IOCs is not enough.
Exactly. So another crucial piece of the puzzle is TTPs. Tactics, techniques, and procedures. This is the how of the attack. How do they gain access? How are they maintaining their presence? How are they escalating their privileges?
So understanding TTPs helps you anticipate their next move.
Yeah, it's like understanding their playbook. And there are frameworks out there like MITRE, ATT, and CK that can really help with this. It's a knowledge base of, adversary tactics and techniques. Okay, so MITRE, ATT, and CK provides a structured way to analyze and understand TTPs.
Exactly. And it helps us map our defenses to the attacker's tactics. So that's TDPS. Then we have threat actor profiles. We're talking about who are these attackers, what motivates them, are they after financial gain, espionage, hacktivism.
So different motives, different targets, different approaches.
Exactly. Understanding the who and the why helps you anticipate what they might go after next.
Right. So if you know a certain group is known for targeting financial institutions, you can take extra precautions if you're a bank.
You got it. And then finally, we have vulnerability information. This is all about the weaknesses in your systems, things like software vulnerabilities.
So things like CVEs, right?
Exactly. And CTI helps you prioritize which vulnerabilities to fix first based on what threats are active in the wild.
Okay, so it's not just about patching everything. It's about patching the right things first.
Precisely.
So it sounds like understanding TTPs is key to actually preventing attacks.
It really is. Knowing their tactics, their techniques, their procedures allows you to put in place preventative controls. And CTI helps you proactively identify and mitigate vulnerabilities. Things like outdated software, misconfigurations.
Before they're exploited.
Yeah, exactly. And it goes even further than that. It can even help you predict potential attack vectors based on, emerging trends and what you're seeing in the threat landscape. Right. And by integrating CTI into your security tools, you can actually make them smarter. They can better detect and block threats.
So you're talking about things like your SIEM, your intrusion detection systems.
Exactly. CTI feeds them with the right information, helping them reduce those pesky false positives and focus on the real threats.
Okay, so it's not just about having the tools, it's about having the right information to feed them.
You got it.
But what happens when an attack actually does happen? How does CTI help in those situations?
Well, that's when the context that CTI provides becomes absolutely invaluable. You already know the who, the what, the why, and the how.
So you can respond faster and more effectively.
Exactly. You can quickly identify what's happening, prioritize your response based on the severity of the threat, contain the damage, and make sure you fully recover.
So CTI plays a crucial role in incident response.
Absolutely. It really makes a huge difference.
It sounds like different parts of an organization need different types of CTI.
Absolutely. You have strategic CTI for executives, which gives them the big picture view of the threat landscape. Tactical CTI for security operations, helping them with day-to-day operations and threat detection. Operational CTI for incident response, providing them with real-time insights during an attack. And then technical CTI for security analysts, giving them the detailed information they need to investigate and analyze threats.
So different CTI for different needs.
Exactly. It's about tailoring the information to the audience. And it helps everyone make better security decisions, from prioritizing security efforts to allocating those limited resources to the highest risks.
So knowing whether an attacker is after money versus state secrets will change your defense strategy.
Absolutely. Their motives dictate their methods. And again, understanding their TTPs with frameworks like IMIER, ATT, and CK is crucial.
Yeah, so you can analyze your defenses and strengthen them where it matters most. But how do we stay updated on all the new threats that are constantly emerging?
Well, that's where CTI acts as your early warning system. It keeps you informed about new malware, new attack vectors, new vulnerabilities.
So we're talking about things like zero-day exploits.
Exactly. Vulnerabilities that are discovered before patch is even available. And to stay ahead, you need to tap into a variety of intelligence sources. You have open source intelligence, things like news articles, blogs, research papers. Then you have closed source intelligence, which comes from vendors and security companies.
And what about the dark web?
Yeah, monitoring the dark web is crucial too, because that's where a lot of this information is traded and shared. And then there's information sharing within trusted communities, things like information sharing in analysis centers or ISACs.
So it's about constantly monitoring and analyzing the threat landscape.
Exactly. That's how you stay one step ahead.
This all sounds like a significant investment. Are there real cost benefits to using CTI?
Absolutely. Think about it. If you can prevent a successful attack or at least minimize its impact, you're saving a ton of money. Faster detection and response times directly translate into reduced costs. And CTI makes your security team more efficient by providing them with the right information and reducing that alert fatigue. The constant barrage of alerts that can overwhelm security teams.
So they can focus on the real threats.
Exactly. And you can even leverage automation driven by CTI to further boost efficiency. So the return on investment comes from both avoided losses and improved operational effectiveness.
So it's not just about spending money, it's about spending it wisely.
Precisely.
So to wrap things up, it seems like CTI needs to be integrated into our overall security approach to be truly effective.
You got it. It's most powerful when it's embedded in your entire security strategy. It's about shifting from a reactive posture to a proactive and predictive posture.
So you're not just waiting for something bad to happen, you're actively trying to prevent it.
Exactly. And to build a successful CTI program, you need a few key elements. Clear objectives. What are you trying to achieve with CTI? Advanced tools to collect, analyze, and manage your threat intelligence. Collaboration across teams. Automation where possible. Strong leadership support. And of course, a dedicated team to run the program.
So it's not a set it and forget it solution. It requires ongoing effort and investment.
Absolutely. But the benefits far outweigh the costs.
Okay, so the key takeaway for you listening today is this. Cyber threat intelligence is absolutely essential in today's threat landscape. It gives you the knowledge to anticipate, prevent, and effectively respond to cyber threats.
The threat landscape is constantly evolving. You've got to be prepared.
Absolutely. So for you to consider then, how can a deeper understanding of your potential adversaries and that ever-changing threat landscape fundamentally strengthen your security decisions and build greater resilience for your organization?
There are many threat intelligence resources available.
Yep.
Exploring what's relevant to your specific needs, your industry, could be a game changer.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive on cyber threat intelligence. We hope you found it insightful.
Take care.
Stay safe out there.